Real talk, this is attempt number 2. There's a lot I wanted to talk about when it comes to this game, and I actually recorded audio and started editing before I realized I had made a mistake and started this entire thing all over again. Cue intro. So yeah, Distance. It's a racing game that isn't a racing game. You are on a track, and you are a car, but your opponent isn't another driver, but the track itself. This is a racing game where the track hates you with a passion. It is the ultimate combination of time trial, obstacle course, and self-hatred. Holy shit, does this game get hard at times. Like, look, I've been playing this game since it was on early access. I beat its prequel, the freeware game Nitronic Rush, and I still have a rough time for certain stages. So, overall, gameplay is pretty straightforward. Get to the end. Standing in your way are a ton of hazards, bottomless pits, difficult track layouts that are broken in a lot of places, and your own boost bar that can overheat. The tools that you have at your disposal are full control of your car, including rotating in 3D space, as well as boost, flying, and the ability to reset yourself whenever. You do have to watch your overheat, but tricks apply cooldown. You'll need these tools too, because this game gets hard. Like, brutal. Look, I know it's a meme, okay, to say that it gets the Dark Souls of whatever, but here I think it can actually apply. The minimum required skill can be a bit prohibiting at times for certain players, but the ceiling is at fucking Pluto. And there are multiple ways of playing, so there's a lot to use to practice. The game itself has 3 modes: Adventure, Arcade, and Online. Adventure is weird. You're a wet car, rebooted after what seems to be years of being offline, as a virus takes over a space station. Your job is to get to the virus source and, well, be the antivirus. As you progress, the game gets darker and way more imposing. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but even after playing the game since it was in early access, the moment where shit hits the fan still gets me. It's very powerful. While it's never scaring, it's unnerving, and extremely effective. Moreover, once the campaign is done, you get a recreation of the team's previous game, Nitronic Rush, as well as another free campaign. I recommend spending some time in this mode before moving on. It teaches you the basics while getting you acclimated towards the difficulty experienced in later modes. You can totally skip the adventure if you are so inclined, but I personally would not. There is a lot more here than meets the eye. The initial campaign is pretty straightforward, and you can unlock a car to play as at the end, but the remake of Nitronic Rush has secrets and hidden areas that allow you to unlock the car from Nitronic Rush. And these aren't just like your garden variety, oh well, I took a left when I was supposed to take a right. No, I mean like, you have to like parkour over certain like broken buildings. It's something. It's really something, so, you know, there's a lot there. Arcade is a mix of 4 sub-modes: Sprint, Challenge, Stunt, and Trackmogrify, with a mix of stages from both the developers and from the workshop. Sprint operates in a similar fashion to the adventure stages. You go from point A to point B, avoiding hazards and racing ghosts. It's really fun, and there are some incredible level themes on display from the developers, as well as some from the community. If there are some global racer ghosts, they will load and you can race them for a better time. Challenge is Sprint, but if you crash, the game ends and you have to restart the entire stage over. Some of the hardest stages in the basic game are here. Stunt is, it's Tony Hawk. Okay, obvious joke over, it's basically just this game's stunt arena. You know how I mentioned earlier you can do stunts to do cooldown? Well, here you do that, but for points. It's fun. Trackmogrify is a random track generator based on words, phrases, or whatever. It's fun and gives effectively infinite content, even if the stages are a bit easier than the rest of what the game has to offer just because it is randomly generated. The last portion of this game is online mode. It's arcade but with text chat. For what it's worth, this is nice when it's there, but you aren't missing too much if you don't use it. The other player cars don't collide with you, so it's the same as arcade, but with ghost racers that can talk to you instead. Graphically, this game is pretty sweet. Tron and Tron Legacy are my aesthetic, and this game has that look in spades. Neon lights, reflective metal surfaces, and hard panel lines make this a gorgeous game to look at. Even on my laptop, which is what I'm recording and doing everything on, this game looks and runs great, which is something that is appreciated. Of course, that's just for the campaign stages. For the workshop and arcade stages, that changes completely. The game's art possibilities really shine through here, with varied designs and themes that stand out and look incredible. Like this stage and this stage are in the exact same game, and are both made by the same developers. So, sound design is extremely well done. The vehicle has sounds when you scrape, fall, and explode, none of which are painful to hear, blah 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 blah. The nice thing about sound design is that you don't really notice it unless it's not doing its job, so it does a pretty good job. There's the same announcer from Electronic Rush that calls out your tricks, fails, and checkpoints. If you don't like it, you can toggle it off, but I personally enjoy it. And lastly, the soundtrack. The soundtrack is pretty fucking sweet. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I like electronic music every so often. I'm mostly a metalhead, but I like electronic music, and, very nice. Anyway, so I mentioned this briefly in the gameplay section, but holy crap, this game has a lot of content. You really get your bang for your buck here. The game story campaigns are meaty, the arcade mode has a lot of content, and that's not even considering the massive amounts of user-created stages available via Workshop. This game has one hell of a stage editor. There's a lot here. There is a lot here. Stages like this, and like this are all made in the stage editor and are available for download for free. And I'll provide a link to some of these stages in the description. Some of my personal favorites. They're really fun, but these are only the ones that I personally played. So if you're like, oh, you missed a stage, just know that I haven't played it yet, probably. And thank you for the recommendation. I'll totally give it a go. So yeah, in conclusion, this game is good. It's good. I've been singing its praises the entire time. Even my minor nitpicks have been, like, washed over. There's a lot here for a very small price point. If you're willing to get good, the sky's the limit. I've always felt that numerical scores are kind of worthless, so instead I offer just a solid recommendation. If you like games with a lot of content, a steep learning curve, and kick-ass visuals, be sure to at least give this a go. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please check out some of my other reviews. Is there a game I should give a go? Leave a comment. To stay up to date with me and my game development stuff, check me out on Twitter. Want to play some of my games? Because I, mentioned that in some of my videos? Well, check me out on GameJolt. Anyway, I'll see y'all next time, and thanks for watching. Peace.